Hello, my dear listeners. My name is Kishore Ganesh, and in this episode of the Vocal About Visuals podcast, I'll be reviewing Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, or MI7 for short, starring the singularly unique Tom Cruise, Hayley Atwell, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Rebecca Ferguson, Vanessa Kirby, Esai Morales, Pom Klementieff, and others. It is written by Bruce Geller, Erik Jendresen, and Christopher McQuarrie, and of course, McQuarrie has also directed this film. If you're wondering whether you're supposed to watch this film, then spoiler alert, I recommend that you do. I mean, an action espionage heist thriller with Tom Cruise jumping off a mountain, fighting on trains, and running like only he can sells itself well enough, but this is just me reaffirming that it is indeed a good idea. In this film, Cruise is ably partnered in quite a few of the stunt sequences by two women in the form of Grace, played by Hayley Atwell, and Ilsa Faust, played by Rebecca Ferguson. Benji, played by Simon Pegg, and Luther, played by Ving Rhames, are the cues to Cruise's James Bond, though they are a lot more action-y than Q ever was. In a situation where there is a standoff between the studios and writers/actors, which has pretty much halted Hollywood, and the world is pretty much going to hell thanks to record summer temperatures, this film comes as an oasis of just go to the theaters and have fun because the world is bumming me out, aka escapism. For about 2 hours and 35 minutes approx of this 2 hours and 43 minutes, the movie pretty much holds your attention. The remaining 5 minutes is used by the movie to just take a breather and prep us for the next part. I also found it quite difficult to predict the next steps of this film because this film was announced to be part 1 of a two-parter, and I didn't know where exactly the cut to wind up part 1 would be. But of course, that's not the only reason. Considering all these stories are coming from the minds of the writers specifically for this series, these tales can go anywhere and everywhere, which makes predicting them quite a difficult task, at least for me. Add to this, the MI series has a history of introducing prominent characters in any movie it sees fit, and these characters can continue on for an unknown number of movies before they get written out. So, all these three factors made it hard for me to at least speculate on where this film is going to go. And mind you, all of these are positives, and I am here for it. All one can do is to strap in and let Tom and his gang take us on a journey. Coming to the performances, Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. Committed, strong work ethic, intense, charming, all Tom Cruise things, and all of them are on display here. One additional thing that I want to call out about Cruise is that he genuinely wants the audience to have a great time, and for that reason, he allows the other actors around him to play. In fact, that I think is a mandate. But I also believe that this has become a feature ever since McQuarrie has taken over the reins of these films, which I believe started from Ghost Protocol. Tom Cruise is prominent, sure, but his co-actors get quite a bit of screen time and room to play, and that is evident in Dead Reckoning 2. Hayley Atwell is the new star to make an appearance in this film, and man does she kill it. She has amazing screen presence, which everyone knows at this point, and in this film, Cruise and her are almost fighting for her eyeballs because you want to look at both of them. Extremely good matchup. She's a star and the world knows it. Can't wait for what her character does in the second part. Pom Klementieff, aka Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, plays a menacing villain and has a strong presence in the film. She is in fact the more menacing and physical of the villain duo and goes on to hold her own against Cruise in the fight scenes. Vanessa Kirby is the next female actor who might have a short amount of time on screen, but her performance and the writing make her very memorable. And the same can be said about Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames. Their screen time is short, but they are hella memorable. And Rhames especially has a side quest in this film, the details of which we will only know about in the next part, and I'm personally quite pumped about it. In fact, it's only the character of Esai Morales that comes off as lacking. He's a very theatrical villain, and he reminded me more of a Elmer Fudd or a Yosemite Sam from Looney Tunes rather than a Tom Cruise villain. This is especially stark in a scene where he is screaming very theatrically from the back of a truck. Nothing wrong about a villain getting quote unquote dumbified, But there is a further full movie to go, so maybe this happened a bit too prematurely for an easy laugh. For all the hype that Morales' character got at the beginning of the movie, none of that brutality actually showed up on screen. I'm not sure if some of those were cut to manage the runtime, or maybe we just have to accept that it is what it is. On the whole, MI7 is a solid entertainer, something that can be enjoyed by a huge section of the audience. It is a fun summer movie, even if you are from a part of the world where it has been raining cats and dogs. Post watching this film, the excitement to watch the next part is sure to take hold in your minds. Well, at least it has for me. I say this because before the film, I never looked forward to a MI movie. I would just go and watch it because, hey, Tom Cruise is a minimum guarantee star. But thanks to the universe that the writers and crews have built up, Dead Reckoning Part 2 and beyond, well, hopefully, are things that I will surely look forward to. Once again, my name is Kishore Ganesh. This is the Vocal About Visuals podcast, and thank you, my dear listeners, for your time and for listening. Please do give this podcast a follow on your preferred podcast platforms and on YouTube. Follow me at Podcast Plural on Twitter, Instagram, and now Threads. If you choose to support this podcast directly, you can do so. The link to my tip jar is there in my LinkTree. Thank you.